So within the Hebrew context of this culture, and there are other cultures like this, but basically you insist a lot. You insist from the one who can provide. And within the Hebrew context, a lot of, and this is a cool study if you ever want to do it, is the tenses of Hebrew words. Because a lot of times within English we kind of say knock, right? But when the Hebrew it may be knock and keep knocking and keep no, like seriously, keep continually, and then sometimes this kind of concept of tenses is going on, and that's what's happening here. This is it's not a Jewish study Bible, but it's close, so it has a little bit of the Hebrew in there. It says, you must regularly ask, and it will be given to you. You must continually seek, and you will find. You must knock habitually, and it will be open to you. Each one of those could be expounded on, right? I'm just going to say it one more time. You must regularly ask, and it will be given to you. You must continually seek, and you will find. And you must knock habitually, and it will be open to you. That means the God that is above the heavens and of everything we can imagine, that has the idea and concept for everything before it exists and where it's going, says that not only if you ask, that he'll listen and he'll answer you, but he will give you things according to his will as well. And that as you regularly ask, he's regularly listening. That alone is a miracle. Beyond the fact that he'll answer you, the fact that he's listening. He knows the hair on your head. He knows the things that are going on. That's why there's verses in Scripture in Luke, it says, don't worry about these things. He knows you need these things. But you still ask. Why would Jesus pray these things? Your kingdom come, your will be done, as it is in heaven. He's literally living it. He's doing it. Why would he? Because he's giving us the mind. When you pray, how should you pray? Jesus, how do you pray? You ask and you're persistent. And you're habitual with it, and you stand on it. You say, this is what I know to be your will in my life, or in this person's life, or whatever. And you stand on it, and you keep asking. It talks about wisdom in James. It says he'll give to you without reproach, without rebuke, without making you feel bad. You're not going to make God sad by asking for things. Be willing to be wrong, because God may say, hey, this thing's not good for you. But just understand that you are expected to ask regularly for things, because he's the only one that gets it. And if you're asking him, you understand that he's the one that can give it. You're giving him honor by asking him. It's do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God, and the peace of God, which transcends understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Jesus Christ. Don't be anxious about everything, right? And this is also an idea of heart posture, because there is a heart posture here. There's a willingness that, God, you are God, I am not. It's okay if you say no, but I'm still demanding this until you say no. I'm thankful for what I have. And there's different verses here. But in this heart, in the right heart, you are to continually ask and petition and say why. But also say, this is what I believe, God, according to your words. And that's part of what you do when you bring things up to God. You talk to God and bring him to remembrance. It says that you bring him into remembrance. And let us argue our case together. In Isaiah 43. So you bring him to remembrance, you bring up what he has, and you argue the case together, because it's your case collectively if you're praying for his will. Your will be done. So you're on the same page with God, working with God to have something accomplished. It becomes our case. And if God is for us, who cares who's against us? That's my favorite version of that verse. Romans 8:31. If God is for us, who cares? You're on God's side. You're just trying to figure out how to do it. And say, God, this is what I believe. I believe this about this person. This is what Scripture. I'm believing for that. Even if he doesn't, it's okay. Right? Esther, listen, if you don't do this, God will still do it, because that's his plan. If you don't, help will come up from somewhere else, but I want to use you. Ezekiel, listen, I didn't want to do this. I just wanted someone to stand in the gap. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Listen, God is going to do this. We're petitioning God to do this, but if he doesn't, it's okay. But we are petitioning this because we believe this is God, and we can stand on Scripture that this is God. If he doesn't, it's okay. But he does this, and you petition, you push. And then just on the same note of the right heart posture, woe to those who argue with and quarrel with God. So you have to demand in a respectful way. Okay? But he wants to give us good things. He wants to bless us. He wants to interact with us. Of all the bigness and the greatness of the universe, he comes back and says, oh, my servant. Of all the great things that he's done, he says, oh, I'm the God of promise. I'm the God of covenant. I'm the God of relationship. Of all these things, it comes back to us. Of all the bad stuff you did, he still died for you in those worst moments.